Unfortunately, Josh Hazlewood is still in doubt for this Ashes series. What is wrong with him and when do we expect to see him return? I'm Monica, I'm a sports physio and I'll be explaining the injuries that he's currently experiencing. During the third day at the Sheffield Shield match, he came off with right hamstring tightness. He immediately then got scans done at that right hammy, which were clear, and then a few days later he then got more scans done at the hamstring, which showed there was a low-grade strain of that muscle. And it's quite common to see this. Early scans can miss a strain as inflammation and the swelling may not have been established yet, and typically it might take about 2 or 3 days until that swelling starts to peak. And it was likely that he was still experiencing some hammy tightness or some tenderness, might have hurt to load and stretch it. So getting the scan done will just clarify if there was actually an injury that was there. And it's also good to double check where the location is of the injury, so if it's at the central tendon or the T-junction. These injuries are typically longer and slower to rehab. I believe there wasn't a specific moment where he felt his hammy ping, so it's likely that accumulated fatigue played a role here, especially as a bowler. There's a lot of repetitive acceleration and deceleration work, and as a fast bowler he'd be reaching high speeds often, which does put a lot of load onto your hammies. As Josh then transitioned into running and bowling as part of his hammy rehab, he then started to get low-grade Achilles soreness. Tendons usually become irritated when the load that's placed upon them is greater than what they can handle, so if there's been an increase in the volume, intensity, frequency or the load, then it can become irritated. So for example, running is considered to be a high tendon load as the tendon has to act as a spring during fast and explosive movements. Josh's Achilles is likely to be in the reactive phase. This phase typically settles within 1 to 3 weeks with appropriate training and rehab modifications. As that reactive phase then settles, the team will likely be assessing his Achilles with tests such as his ankle mobility, his calf length, his calf strength and his hopping ability before he recommences back into bowling and running. And morning pain is often a good indicator to see if what he's done the day prior was too much or not, and then the team can then adjust his training or his rehab based off this for the rest of the day. If he does well with his structured rehab for his hammy and his Achilles and is being appropriately monitored with things like checking his pain, tightness and fatigue levels and even his strength levels, it may be possible for him to return in this Ashes series. If you have an interest in the Achilles, then you'd want to check out my video on Holger Rune's Achilles rupture.